Askreddit Asks, adults of Reddit who were depressed kids or teens, what is it like to be here when you didn't expect to make it this far? What would you tell your younger self if you could? Don't start smoking cigarettes.
If I could go back in time, this is the only thing I would change.
I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far. When I was a teen, I didn't have plans for myself after 18. As in, I couldn't visualize anything. I would think that I'd have died by 20. I didn't make any real plans for myself in the long term because I didn't think I'd exist to carry them out. Turned 25 this year. I still can't visualize past 30 now. But I'll take my chances.
Take better care of your teeth.
It feels pretty great, honestly. Life hasn't gone the direction I thought it would. Even taking into account that I once tried to end my life. But I've ended up in a good place. I'd tell the young me not to do anything differently. To become who I am and still continue to become. I had to be her first. Edit. Obligatory thanks for the gold. Edit 2. Since there's some confusion from a few. I did not mean that having depression is a good thing. I encourage anyone with suicidal thoughts, plans, or dealing with depression, anxiety, bipolar, etc. to seek treatment. That's one of the things I did on my path to being me. What I meant by this quick post was that I've had to learn to be at peace with my past and to accept that those experiences that weren't so wonderful, and indeed sucked horribly, are a part of me. Denying that is something I used to do. But it wasn't fair to myself.
I lost my father to suicide at 13. My mom was in and out of rehabs her whole life. All I had was music. I dropped out of high school. I would literally stay alive just because new music would come out or release dates of albums. Today, I own a behavioral healthcare center that specializes in addiction treatment now. I'm finishing up my master's degree, and not only am I sober, but my mom is today. My relationship with my family is amazing. I got out of the Midwest and moved to Los Angeles. I tell myself that it's going to be okay. That the struggle I faced only led me to the success I have today. Edit. Wow. This blew up. For all of you asking how I opened a program, I basically was connected to someone who had the resources but didn't know how it works. And my former boss knew I had the ability to develop a program but didn't have the resources. It was certainly a lucky break, but I also gathered enough knowledge to have the ability to own a part of an organization and not put money in. I got very lucky but had a lot of tenacity and never gave up. I think my biggest influence was the fact that I grew up in counterculture. And knowing I'd be a statistic who fell into the same things my family fell into is what always scared me. I sat with a therapist. I struggled and dealt with my trauma. I found an intern therapist that was $20 per session because she wasn't licensed and really went for getting healthy. I initially got sober just to get everyone off my back. But about a decade later it was the best decision I've made. I still struggle from time to time. I have a great life today though. If you can take one thing, don't give up. Heal from pain. Talk to someone. Your trauma and pain make you stronger. My first tattoo was a quote my brother always told me. Without struggle there is no progression.
Survived an attempt at age 15. I would tell myself to wait for tomorrow. If tomorrow sucks, wait for the next day or the one after that. Even if there's one great day ahead, that one day could make up for all the bad ones. Stop putting your faith in other people and instead believe in yourself. Become your own best friend. You are stronger than you know. Edit. Wow. Woke up to gold, thank you. Kind stranger, this week is the 12th anniversary of my attempt and I've been doing a lot of self-reflection lately. Life isn't perfect, but some days, it is pretty damn great. Thank you all for sharing your experiences. I hope you all have many great days ahead.
I feel guilty. I was diagnosed PTSD and depression at 8. Felt pretty edgy at 13, cutting myself and such. Then suddenly at 15 I'd done damn near every street drug available. By 17 I was addicted to meth and had attempted suicide twice, and by the time I turned 19 I was selling ice full-time. Had lost all contact with my family and most of my friends. The life I hated so much due to not wanting to live turned into something genuinely dangerous and idiotic. My choices made my life infinitely worse than it ever was before. I'm just about 20 now. Have been clean from all drugs for just shy of 6 months. Rekindling my relationship with my family and working full-time. But the things I did still haunt me, and the cravings for ice are so strong every day that I fear what I've done has cemented itself into my personality. I'm doing good, really good, and it was a hard road getting here. But I never feel good. I can't feel anything except guilt and regret and the lapel do bead from meth. I miss the opportunities I could have had I just gotten over myself. Here's to another 20 years.
College is better than high school. And don't worry about not achieving milestones in time. Who cares if you don't have your first kiss until you're 21? Stop putting so much pressure on yourself in life and in school. Take it easy, kiddo.
College is miserable for me. I literally have no friends. I feel lost, to be honest.
Who cares if you don't have your first kiss until you're 21? How about 27, and it was a stage kiss and doesn't really count as 2 milestones? It's a lot easier to say that before your mid-30s.
When I was a teen, I didn't have plans for myself after 18. As in, I couldn't visualize anything. I would think that I'd have died by 20. I didn't make any real plans for myself in the long term because I didn't think I'd exist to carry them out. Turned 25 this year. I still can't visualize past 30 now. But I'll take my chances.
I was the exact same way. 37 now was a real problem for me, as I didn't set myself up for anything later in life. Didn't finish school, had to work crappy jobs, etc. I never planned for my future when I was younger because I never saw myself living past 18. During my early 20s, I went through the motions of what was expected of me from societal norms. I went severely in debt for an undergrad degree. Did a teaching program in which you get your master's while you teach under an emergency license in a high-risk school. I ended up in a job I fucking hated, loved the students, hated the system and being a part of it. Every morning on my way to work I thought about ways I could get injured just enough to miss work but not life-threatening. Point being, I had no control over my shit life growing up. I was refused any counseling services because in my mother's world mental illness is made up. When I was on my own, I just went through the motions even though I did have control over my life and health care. It took a year of daily thoughts of self-harm to realize I needed to start taking control of my life. I quit my job and have been bouncing from job to job. Typical millennial, holding a job for a few years then floating to the next. I recently turned 30, and I finally feel like I found my career. I went from not seeing my future past 18 to planning for retirement at my current job. Edit. Wow. Thank you to the individuals who gave me gold and silver. I appreciate all of the messages and replies to the comment. It helps me feel connected to a community to know that I'm not alone and was never alone, despite years of feeling as such. I even appreciate the person that created an account closely similar to mine to say I was a high-class escort. Frankly, if I'm anything, it would be closely related to the dollar store, off-brand kind of comparison. I do plan on responding and, again, appreciate it all.
If I could go back in time, this is the only thing I would change.
Same. Picked it up in college to help cope with stress. Younger me is an idiot.
Same. I'd also tell my younger self to lay off the stress eating. To exercise the stress away and to get away from my toxic family and go to university. I'm 26 and still struggling with these issues.
I have been depressed for a large part of my life. Still get random flashes of suicidal ideation. I'd tell myself to exercise more because that helps, and to try drugs, recreational and medical. Just to see how it feels to think differently, and let people in. Do things that make you happy, content, and if there's something bothering you, confront it or get the heck out of the situation. Dying is always a choice. But not being dead is not. You're going to die anyway, so you might as well see what this life thing is about. It's pretty fucking great once you know what you like about it. Edit. Qualified drug use. Lol.
That last couple of sentences resonated with me.
Couldn't agree more. It's pretty frightening to see how expensive it is to fix your teeth when they get bad. I don't know much about others. But when I go through depression, I don't bother keeping up appearances in the slightest, probably because I went months without seeing another person. So hygiene went down the drain. I've made way too many mistakes, including addiction. But if I could tell one thing to my younger self, it would, without a doubt, be to take better care of my teeth. I was able to find my way out of addiction and have been clean for almost 6 years. But I genuinely have no idea how I'm going to fix my dental issues.
Same. Picked it up in college to help cope with stress. Younger me is an idiot.
I'm currently going out with a guy that used meth for years. He's been clean for 3. He had the exact same thoughts as you, that meth changed him as a person completely. It hasn't. He is one of the most kind, caring people I know, and it took a long time to get where he is. But he is doing so well you wouldn't believe it. Keep going. You'll have up days and down days. But the trend is that life is getting better. This gives me hope. Thanks a lot.
I was in the same situation. If you need tips and support, we're happy to help over at Stop Smoking. We've all been there. We know it sucks. You got this. Edit. Also, don't blame yourself. Humans make mistakes. That's part of the learning process. The blame rests squarely on the predatory companies manufacturing highly addictive products, taking advantage of human weakness, turning a temporary mistake into a permanent one. Younger you was not an idiot. Younger you was tricked by professional tricksters. Edit for the angry crowd. Yes, it's your fault for trying. It's a mistake. Making mistakes is normal. Manufacturing an artificial mistake for people to make, that is designed for them not to be able to get out of chemically, is what is to blame. It's a trap, laid deliberately, waiting for people to make mistakes. Not everybody is rational. Not everybody is self-confident. Some people will make mistakes on purpose because they are depressed. That's okay. What's not okay is that we tolerate for predators to take advantage of that at industrial scale. I'll go read something more joyful than your angry DMs now. EDIT2. Wow, my first gold. Thanks. It does feel special. I'll use my special moment here to say, please consider donating to the Ronald McDonald (URL redacted) 2. Having family members nearby when staying at the hospital as a child as life-changing. Much love to all.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and above all, have an excellent day, you marvelous people.